In 1945, Berlin was nothing but rubble, a shattered capital city on its knees. Once home to 4.3 million people, now barely 2.8 million haunted the ruins. The skyline was smoke and ruin, the heart of Germany, broken. Fast forward a few years and a barbed wire border slices Berlin in two. The iconic Berlin Wall turning neighbors into strangers overnight. Yet from this devastation and division, a new Berlin would rise. Stay tuned to witness Berlin's unbelievable transformation through rare before and after images that will leave you speechless. Despite all this destruction, Berlin's story was far from over. What was life in this city like beyond the ruins? Let's first glimpse the spirit of Berlin that would not die. Today's Berlin is vibrant and alive, a city that pulses with creativity, music, and freedom. It's hard to imagine that this bustling metropolis was ever in ashes. Berlin is once again the capital of Germany, and with around 3.7 million inhabitants, one of the most populous cities in the European Union. Walk through Museum Island, and you're surrounded by world-class museums and grand architecture, evidence of a rich cultural heritage. By night, neighborhoods like Kreuzberg and Friedrichshain come alive with street art, techno clubs, and food from every corner of the globe. Berlin has become a world city of culture and creative industries, attracting young artists and entrepreneurs from around the world. It's famous for its legendary nightlife and festivals, from the massive Berlinale Film Festival to countless open-air concerts. The city's once gritty streets are now a canvas for expression. Murals splash color on walls that, in another era, were gray and guarded. Yet Berlin's modern charm is inseparable from its history. This is a city that wears its past openly. Bullet-scarred buildings stand next to sleek glass towers, and old bunkers find new life as art galleries. The very energy of Berlin, its alternative spirit, its poor but sexy allure, grew out of decades of overcoming adversity. Once literally divided between East and West, Berlin now stands unified as one of Europe's great capitals, a symbol of resilience and unity. But this thriving Berlin we know today hides a brutal past. How did a place so full of life emerge from one of the darkest chapters in history? To understand that, we must witness Berlin's darkest hour. On May 2nd, 1945, World War II's final chapter in Europe played out in Berlin's streets. Explosions and gunfire reduced the city to a post-apocalyptic landscape. By war's end, about a third of Berlin lay in ruins. Some 600,000 apartments destroyed, and monumental buildings were destroyed. The Battle of Berlin raged block by block, leaving tens of thousands of civilians dead or wounded. In a haunting image from that time, the Brandenburg Gate stands damaged amid smoke and debris, its columns scarred by bullets and bombs. The nearby Reichstag, where furious last-ditch fighting took place, was left a gutted ruin covered in Soviet graffiti. Everywhere, families searched for shelter in the skeletons of buildings that had been their homes. For those who survived, rebuilding seemed almost impossible. Mountains of rubble filled the streets. Statisticians later calculated nearly 30 cubic meters of debris for every Berliner. In fact, so much rubble was eventually cleared that it was piled into human-made hills. One, nicknamed Teufelsberg, Devil's Mountain, contains roughly 12 million cubic meters of war debris beneath its forested slopes. Amid this devastation, Berlin's citizens refused to give up. Thousands of women known as Trümmerfrauen, rubble women, grabbed bricks with bare hands, clearing wreckage one pile at a time. The Allied powers divided Berlin into 4 sectors in 1945, and as the Cold War dawned, the city became a geopolitical tinderbox. By 1961, the simmering East-West tensions erupted into physical form. Overnight, through these decades, Berlin's reconstruction moved in fits and starts. In the West, aid from the Marshall Plan injected billions of dollars to jumpstart rebuilding, while in the East, Soviet-backed efforts created stark socialist boulevards like the still-famous Karl Marx Allee. Iconic sites slowly rose from the rubble. The Reichstag was partially restored by the 1960s and later fully renovated with a glass dome after reunification, and the Brandenburg Gate, left in a Cold War no-man's land by the wall, was finally restored to its former glory after 2000. Other scars were left visible as memorials. The Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, bombed in 1943, still stands half-ruined as a poignant reminder of war. When did Berlin become the capital of Germany again? With the wall's fall on November 9, 1989, the path to reunification opened. In 1990, Germany reunified and soon declared Berlin the capital once more, replacing Bonn. The 1990s ushered in a construction frenzy to mend the city's urban fabric. Even today, parts of Berlin are essentially giant construction sites. The city is still reinventing itself project by project. Berlin had clawed its way back from utter destruction and even survived decades of division. So what is Berlin like now? What does a city with such a past look and feel like in the present day? And what reminders of history greet us on its streets? Picture this. Red Army soldiers in 1945 once raised their flag over the Reichstag's ruins. Today, in that same spot, tourists stand atop the Reichstag's glass dome, gazing over a peaceful Berlin skyline. The transformation is breathtaking. Modern Berlin is a city reborn, one of Europe's coolest capitals and a genuinely great place to live. Green parks cover 1/3 of the city, cafes spill onto sidewalks, and startups buzz in renovated warehouses. It's almost hard to believe that Potsdamer Platz, now filled with shiny skyscrapers and shopping centers, was a barren wasteland divided by the wall just over 30 years ago. Yet Berlin never forgets. The city is dotted with memorials that keep its history alive. In the heart of Berlin stands the chilling memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe, a vast field of concrete stelae that wordlessly honors the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust. Not far away, you can walk along the East Side Gallery, where the longest surviving stretch of the Berlin Wall is covered in colorful murals, art transforming a symbol of oppression into one of hope. In some places, a double row of cobblestones traces the wall's former path through the city, so you literally walk the line of history. There's also the official Berlin Wall Memorial at Bernauer Strasse, where escape tunnels and watchtower sites remind visitors of the city's divided years. And of course, the half-ruined spire of the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church still looms over a busy West Berlin shopping street, a jagged silhouette left as an anti-war monument. These sites ensure that even as Berlin moves forward, it doesn't forget the lessons of its past. Berlin's revival isn't just visible in monuments. It lives in the spirit of its neighborhoods. Take Kreuzberg. During the Cold War, Kreuzberg was a scruffy, walled-in West Berlin district, one of the poorest quarters of the city. Today, Kreuzberg symbolizes Berlin's creative and multicultural renaissance. Streets that once ended at barbed wire now overflow with Turkish markets, vegan cafes, art galleries, and legendary nightlife. Thanks to significant gentrification since the 1990s, Kreuzberg is now known for its vibrant art scene and diverse community, a place where immigrants, students, and innovators intermingle to create the city's future. Berlin in 2025 is not a flawless utopia. It wrestles with growth and change, rising rents, ongoing construction, debates about preserving history amid modernization. But it stands as a testament to resilience. The city that was once flattened and broken is now a thriving center of culture, technology, and life. You can dance until dawn in a repurposed power plant-turned-nightclub, or enjoy a quiet afternoon by the Spree River, where swans glide past government buildings. Berlin's scars have become its character, making it welcoming, edgy, and deeply inspiring. Berlin's journey from ruin to renewal shows us that even the darkest times can give rise to hope. What does Berlin's story teach us, and what mysteries remain in its aftermath? In our final chapter, we'll reflect on the legacy of Berlin's rebirth and look ahead to the next story waiting to be told. Berlin has seen glory, devastation, division, and the fight to rise again. From imperial capital to war-torn wasteland, from a divided city to a dynamic metropolis, Berlin's story is proof that even the most shattered city can be reborn with determination and hope. The rubble has been replaced by theaters and startups, the silence of the Iron Curtain by the laughter of open-air markets. The scars are still there, in memorials and memories, but they now fuel Berlin's unique spirit of creativity and resilience. But what about the next chapter in our exploration of reborn cities? How does Jakarta protect itself from sinking beneath the waves? And what secrets still lie hidden in Pripyat's abandoned schools? What other cities carry scars we have yet to uncover? The world is full of places with unbelievable stories. If you want to discover more inspiring journeys like Berlin's, subscribe to Satellite and join us on the next adventure. The story of human resilience continues, and we'll be there to share it with you.